It took me quite a lot of times to prepare the previous coffee talk about the events that lead to the establishment of DXN. As too many incidents and various happenings that affect the initial setup of DXN. So I have to choose the narration carefully, not talking too much to waste your time. Only those incidents that carry important messages were narrated. Most importantly, I wish to let you know that you should not keep waiting before you act. You must throw yourself into action as soon as you can, because tomorrow shall not wait. Once you miss the initial chance, you may miss everything. I always tell the member, if you wish to become millionaire, to be successful in DXN, and lead a satisfactory career, you should study how I established DXN. What were the important principles that I am following and how we overcome the problems. And most importantly, when we face rejection and failure, how to adjust our mind to cope with it. I think from the story, immediately you know that I am a minimalist. So you can see, DXN is a company work on a principle of simplicity. For those who practice Sunya together with us, they know simplicity is the core practice of Sunya. You may ask, how does simplicity always work? Now, because it is simple, you can understand it well. If you understand it well, then you can carry out the task without mistake. Even if mistake did happen, since by nature it is simple, you can correct it easily. Now look at the initial setting up of DXN. We only have one product, one staff, one table, and one computer. This we call bare bone simplicity. Simple to the very core of it. Because it is simple, I am able to sustain for a long time, even there is little or no sales. When DXN at the most critical moment, I dare to design. If I really face financial problem, I can continue to seek for a job or borrow some money to continue, because the nature of the business is simple and it did not cost me too much money to run it. If I started with much fanfare and lot of extravaganza, I have to borrow money for that. If for 6 months no sales, company will be in bad shape and full of debt, then collapse for sure. And with lot of debt to pay back, once it is collapsed, it may not survive again. So being simple, it was almost foolproof. DXN could last for a long time, even the scenario was not favorable. At least DXN could survive. Sometimes surviving in itself is winning. In MLM, whoever survives shall do well and become successful. So surviving is winning. Many times members complain to me that their bonus are small, that they want to buy houses, they can only afford to buy cheap house, they want to buy car, can afford to buy cheap and second-hand car. I always tell the story of the early day of DXN, never mind about the small bonus. Cut down your expenses. Try to manage your life with whatever income you have. The first rule to become rich is to spend less than what you make. You may make tons of money in a month. If you spend more than what you make, you will become poor for sure. I have seen with my own eye. Many members already getting good income, but they want good house, good car. Too early, too soon. Even their income was good, it could not satisfy their craving. Then they join money game company. They fall trapped to the sweet talk of other companies and left DXN for the greater pasture. I have a lot of stories about that. I shall tell some of them as education stories in future. There was a few cases in Philippines. They jumped ship to other sweet talk companies. I saw one of them exhibit 2 photos, one with an old car And below the photo is a caption, when I'm in DXN. Then the next photo, he sit in a big and beautiful car and with sunglasses and his leg wide open. More like a mafia than an MM leader. Below the photo is a caption, this is now when I'm in company Tom and Jerry. To humiliate DXN further, he stated, DXN is a small pond, too small for a big fish. Now I'm in a big ocean, good for big fish. At first, the company Tom and Jerry gave them some transfer fee and some money allowance and paid for the down payment of the big car. Very soon, the honeymoon was over. The money payment for the big car is costly. If you want Tom and Jerry to pay for you, you need to generate a few hundred thousands of sales in USD per month. If not, you have to pay for the installment yourself. When in DXN, he is selling much less than that figure, but at least can buy a second-hand car and own a small house. After joining Tom, suddenly he realized there's no free lunch. In only 6 months' time, the car was repossessed by the bank due to default of installment, and he ran into financial difficulties, and the sale is not good, and hence the bonus was low, and eventually sold the small house too, and he left with no car and no house. When they wanted to come back to DXN, even I wished to accept them. His downline and many DXN members would not, because when he left DXN, he has defamed the company badly. No way he could come back to DXN. So instead of jumping from a small pond into a big ocean, he jumped into a desert. Instead of becoming a big fish, he became a dried fish. I have seen too many of this. Many of them are having good potential in DXN just because they want to get rich quick. They try to jump over the rules of cause and effect. If you want to become a millionaire, you must invest 1 million of your efforts and energy and realize your dream. And it always takes time for your dream to materialize. Look at me, for example. My dream initially was very simple and also very small. I did not mind small or second-hand car. I did not mind for a cheap and small house. But even that, I could not achieve this simple goal. Due to financial constraint in the family, life became complicated due to demanding engineering jobs. It took me 10 years of preparation before I can even start up the most simple MM company. Even that, I almost went bankrupt into the first year. 10 years were long years. Time actually passed by very slowly. The only way I could do at the time is to practice the endurance, the third good practice of Sunya, to endure the difficulty. There are 6 good practices to Sunya. First, you should practice to give and to sacrifice. Secondly, you should discipline yourself and do no harm. Mind and body cannot be separated, so in order to discipline your mind, you need to discipline your body. And to have a loose body and try to train for disciplined mind is like the old saying of Chinese, try to hunt for fish on top of the trees. That's not possible. Third, you should endure the difficulties and failure you face. The world is not perfect. It always responds in a way unexpected to you. And many of the response are not favorable and stress you a lot. In one hand, this is bad, of course. But in the other hand, since the result is unexpected, you can have the opportunity to exceed your original plan. The more secure is your life, the less opportunity you shall have in life. When I worked as an engineer in the government, it was very secure. But since it was secure, I could calculate how much money I could make till the day I pensioned. There was no way I can become a millionaire with the salary. I am very good in mathematics, so I could project the total income for my whole life. It was very depressing and distressing also. My life would be a useless life. So the world is not perfect. It's not a bad thing too. As the old Chinese saying said again, in every crisis, there is an opportunity. Since the result cannot be predicted, many times it is a poor result. However, since the result is uncertain, That means once in a while it is beyond your expectation. This will make you become a millionaire. So we are not worried that the world is not perfect. We just need to prepare ourselves to endure the unfavorable results. Be a continuous shooter. You may miss in some of the shooting, but out of 100 shots, sure one shot will hit the target. Just as I told my wife while we were overlooking the small towns and paddy field on top of Gunung Jerai, never mind about failing for 100 times. We just need one success. One. Just one. And that one success will turn us into a millionaire. The fourth good practice in Sunya is to exert energy to perform your duty. When you endure the hardship, do not sit in the corner and complain about your bad luck. Roll your sleeve, exert your effort, and do your duty. The fifth practice is to focus your mind and calm it down by meditation, the reverse counting, which we call samatha. Last but not least, the sixth practice of awareness. Aware of what is happening and find a good response to it. That we practice by following the breathing, which we call vipassana. That means when you do your job, sometimes the results are not favorable. You are aware of it, you analyze it, okay? Then use your mind, use your wisdom to overcome it. This one we also call vipassana. The six practices are good corporate training too. And from the development of DXN, you can see how we implement the practice one by one. So the first lesson you should learn for the establishment of DXN is keep things simple. Start small, endure the failure until it started to do well and become successful for you. While I studied in Indian Institute of Technology in Kharagpur, West Bengal, my professor took me as his son. He predicted that I would not survive in engineering job because I'm a free thinker. I like to do the job the way I like to. In engineering, all are fixed practice. And there's very little room for the free thinker. Just 3 months into the job, actually, I should resign already because it was beyond doubt that the job was not suitable for me. But I could not resign because at the time my father collapsed in his business. I'm the only bread earner in the family. I need the salary to survive. Then from 3 months, I endure it. It became 1 year. Then 3 years. Then 10 years. The time flew very slowly then. It almost looked like a century for me. But the 10 years in MADA was not a waste of time. It trained until I have the iron will. In the early days of DXN, many unexpected problems sprung up. Due to my enduring practice in MADA, I endure until finally DXN is successful. So the first lesson in your financial management is spend less than what you make. When I work in MADA, all engineer driving good cars, but I drive the old Volkswagen, which cost only 3,000 ringgit. At the time, 1 USD trade for 2.5 ringgit. So the car was hardly over $1,000. It was not the second-hand car. I saw the car certificate. It traded through at least 10 owners. And the car was as old as I am. So it was even worse than the second-hand car. It is a multi-hand car. But there was a great merit in it. I buy it with cash, so I need not pay installment. Otherwise, every month I have to pay around 500 ringgit for installment for the car. Then came the house. I bought a cheap house. Installment was also about 500 ringgit per month, almost as cheap as I rent a house. You must also realize it is not simple to be simple. When you are bare bones simple, people do not understand you. For me, I'll just stick to the basic principle of spend less than what you make. I have to spend money to upkeep the family, for the study and tuition fee of my brothers, and for the experiment and running a small mushroom farm at that time. I have to cut things into minima. And actually, I'm able to save some money for the future establishment of DXN. But people did not see that way. When they saw me driving cheap car, they thought I'm having financial problem. There was a time Honda car company introduced a famous car, the Honda Accord. That is a dream car for many people. So a lot of engineers started to change to that car. I'm the only one stick to the old car. Then one day, my kind-hearted boss, Mr. Luke, asked me to meet him. He stated that everybody were buying new car. Why am I sticking to that old car? Out of good concern, he asked me if I face any financial problem. That made me laugh. I told Mr. Luke, of all the engineers, I'm the only one who did not have financial problems. Many of them sold a car to buy the new car, who actually refinanced the car loan to get some money, and many of them have credit cards and almost spent close to the credit. I told Mr. Luke, I'm debt-free. I owe no one money. The only loan I am in debt was the housing loan. This was all. I told him jokingly, he should ask the same question to other engineers, not me. He also laughed heartily and praised me. And he told me one secret of him. His grandfather stayed in Hong Kong and just passed away and gave him almost 1 million ringgit in his will. As I told you, as an engineer in government, even you do not eat, do not drink, do not take bath, do not spend your salary, you may not save 1 million in your whole working career. He told me with the 1 million ringgit, he could spend, he could pension and have a type of life he want. I'm very glad he has such a good luck, and I congratulated him and really felt happy for him. He was also a simple man and should not be a problem to pension with good life. I firmly believe in the law of cause and effect. Good people always get good results in their life. So this is what you should learn from the previous story. Start small and simple, spend less than what you make, and follow the law of cause and effect to become a millionaire in just the effect. You have to put in 1 million effort. That is the cost. Life is like a balance. One side is the cost, the other side is the effect. The more effort you put in the cost, the greater will be the effects. As simple as that. It seems I have been talking so long to just sing a point to you, but never mind about it. It did not cost me any money to put the story in Facebook, and it also did not cost you any money to listen to it. So I hope you did not complain I talk like a grandmother before even start the next stories. When I want to study the video editing, I am watching one trainer in YouTube explaining how to superimpose your videos in the beginning of the 2 video. He is visibly annoyed, as someone commented in his past video that he talked like a granny and advised he should go into the point quickly. Why talking so much? He almost lost his temper and cursing, said that you did not pay a cent to watching his video and you like watching it, then fine, go ahead. You do not like it, he pointed his finger to the right now. Then go to those videos beside my channel and get lost. Then he said, this video is a grandmother video. It will be long. Oh, he is joking. He said, I'm going to talk long, you know. Okay, I will become your grandmother again. Finally, he did apologize. Okay, and say that in video editing, you need to do it right in the beginning. If you're careless and think that you can correct the mistake later, you shall burn your ass and spend a lot of unnecessary effort correcting something that sometimes not possible to correct. After a good laugh listening to him, I do agree with him totally. He spent a lot of time to coach you how to take precaution, not video editing techniques per se, like how to take care of the background lighting. So after superimpose, people do not see ghosts in your video, which is not possible to correct also. So when you feel that my story is too long, go and take another cup of JomDXN coffee. That will help you to maintain your money PV also. I spend so much time to explain the point because it's too important for you to prepare yourself to be a millionaire. If you do it wrong, you will not have the chance to correct it in the future, like the video tutor stated. Now, come to the second important lesson. It is never simple to be simple. Do not think that you want a simple life, then your life will be simple. It takes a lot of mental discipline to stand firm and stick to your belief. When I bought cheap house and cheap car so that I could save some money, people thought that I'm having financial problem. When DXN starts simple, people thought that I have turned crazy. Then from a border town, try to develop an international company, and with no member at hand, and talk about one world, one market, with only one staff in the company, talk about becoming a great company. Since it is simple, you should mentally prepare. People may not accept it as what you expected. We just have to stick to it, to endure it, to do no harm. Like, do not join the money company to cheat a friend and family. That is a lot of harm. To exert your effort, to be aware and flexible. You can change the approach and strategy, but not the simple principle that you adopted. Last time, when we had the Sunya camp in India, I started to introduce the millet congee. It was very simple to do. Just add a lot of water and boil it. That's all. But it took me and Dr. Savera 6 times to correct the chef before it is properly cooked. First, the chef think that this is unthinkable. You do some cooking, just add in water and boil. Then why do we need him as a chef? So he put in tons of masala and spices into the congee. We told him, put the masala aside, aside it. Do not put into the congee. Even then, he put in some veggie in the second try. Keep on putting something extra into the congee. In the 4th try, he stopped putting the masala and veggie and add in some salt for taste. We felt very annoyed and told him nothing except water should be added. The 5th time, he did not add anything. Since nothing is added, he just let the congee boil without stirring it once in a while, and the bottom portion was burnt and the congee tasted smoky. Only on the 6th try, the congee became perfect. So when you put things in a simple way, you should prepare yourself that the result may not be what you want. I've seen too many people only plan for success. There's no preparation if things went wrong. No contingency plan. Majority of them fail. So when you just started in DXN, do not complain about the bonus. Do not keep asking the company to give you the housing fund, the car fund, even the educational scholarship for your sons and daughter. DXN does not give you all that, but put everything into your bonus. That's why DXN is one of the highly paid bonus company. DXN want you to be a free man. With a good bonus, you can have your car and your house. If you wish to buy a car, then you buy a car. If you wish to buy a house, then you buy a house. You need not look at my face and beg me because you are proud of yourself as a free man. No begging. So you should put sufficient effort in your DXN business, and slowly but surely you can achieve what you wish. Third lesson is you should act as soon as possible. When the minimum requirement is satisfied, not wait until you are fully equipped, then started. It's lucky that DXN started in the late 1992. If not, DXN may never exist. Let me tell you why. When it came to 1993, government decided to regulate all the MLM license, and each company must have an MLM license to operate. It took time to process the license, so for those existing companies, they could continue to operate. And all new companies were forbidden to operate before they obtain the license. Luckily, DXN has started, so we can continue to operate. And we obtained the temporary license in 1993, and the official license is on the 1st July 1995. The year of 1995 was expansion year of DXN. If we missed 1993 and 1994 comes to 1995, there were a lot of big companies started to participate in the market. And in 1993, many big companies could not operate because they did not started in the market yet. As a result, there is no much competition in the market, and for a small company like DXN, we could penetrate the market successfully. When it comes to 1995, suddenly thousands of companies comes to the market. By the time, the sales of DXN already reaches more than 1 million ringgit per month. Since then, DXN has developed and expanded aggressively until today. Which also means that if we missed 1993, we would miss all. So exerting effort and start the first step early was very crucial for your success. And in 1993, government also slapped new law in health food. All health food must be produced in GMP factory. Those who already selling the health food would get a temporary license. and having 2 years grace period to establish the factory. It is costly to establish an GMP factory. When stepped into 1995, DXN already getting good sales in the market and we could self-finance the GMP factory. If we do not start in 1993, we may not have the fund to build the GMP in 1995, then DXN would not exist for a long time to come. So you see, the startup in 1993 was very crucial for the development of DXN. Without that, there is no DXN. Many people always think that tomorrow can wait. When they have someone to sponsor, they always delay and wait. By the time he decided to sponsor, the person already joined some other people. In MLM, every day counts. If you can act today, never wait for tomorrow. There are many more lessons in my previous talk. I already finished second cup of coffee now. So we keep more good and interesting stories in the coming coffee talk. Thank you for your time to listen to me talking like a granny. Okay? See you soon. Bye-bye.